Yo ho ho!
Welcome back!
Another episode of The Amazing Survivors. I'm Tron.
I'm Tremaine, and this is number 8 overall, but episode 2 of the Amazing Race recap.
And boy, what a quick episode, right?
It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all, I liked that on the last episode when they got to the mat, they're like, "Hey, you're still racing. Keep on going." I think that's cool. I like the mega legs or whatever like
right
that.
off the top.
Yeah,
I did too. The one thing I saw though, as they were kind of like showing teams and showing their times, those top 3 teams were about an hour ahead of everybody else.
Just start off or to...
Yeah, they hit the mat and started the next leg about an hour ahead of the other pack.
Huge advantage there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that's what kept them in the lead. Because
this episode seemed like there was a lot less changing of places than in a typical episode where they're all kind of like there and like going.
Yeah, and so I think with the mega leg like that, that's going to happen. Because, so they go from the Los Arcos, where the mat is, to La Iguana Bridge. And looking on the map, that's only about an 8 to 10 minute walk. If you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rod and Letitia, they rocked it there.
Crushed it there. Caesar, Ricky, boom.
They crushed it there.
Yeah.
But also what I like about Ricky and Caesar, they were going along the beach a little bit different, I think, than what Rod and Letitia did. But they noticed the balloons.
Yeah. They saw the balloons on
top
their way.
Notch on that part.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do well because of that.
Well, let's get into that. So the first thing on the Iguana Bridge, the clue there, so they have to either do pick up some balloons or do the flags thing.
Yeah.
So with the balloons, they had to go to 3 different stops and pick up 3 different colored balloons and come back.
Right.
The flags, they had to look at a ton of different flags. They had their little strands and they had to match it. If they find a strand that was different from that, then they pull that down and go on. Which one would you have done?
Balloons. 100%. Because, yes, I could match things up, but looking at the space, yes, you don't know exactly how far you're going to go, but I'm like, oh, this is really straightforward, and I can get out and back. I feel like I can make this happen pretty quick. Right. So I would have gone balloons.
And I think, what team was it? One of the teams, it's that husband and wife team. Police officer?
Derek and Schlisa?
Yeah, I think it was Derek. Derek said that the physical challenges, they might be tough, but they're straightforward.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%. However, I think for me personally, I probably would have chosen the flags, maybe to my detriment, because the other teams seem to
Sonny and Busy got
not understand it. But I feel like I can pick out patterns really easily, and so I'm once again, I don't know like everything that's on the clue, but just based on that, I may have gone with the flags at first, and I think I could have done it a lot better than any of those teams, but who knows?
It makes me
and I'm tall because they're like right here for me, which was way funny with the cousins team, and she's like, you're like 7 feet tall, you're like Shaq. I died on that. That was good.
She's not even close to Shaq.
No.
You might have jumped out of the plane a few times, but you're not Shaq. I would have gone balloons. It was interesting, even though Ricky and Caesar were very observant, just not very thorough on reading of the clue,
because they thought it was just one set of balloons, but it was one set of balloons for each person. Yeah. And so they lost a little time there, which I think if they didn't do that mistake, they would have gotten first place on the leg, because at the end, when they were going up to the mat, Rod and Letitia just barely got there. Yeah. So
you know what would have been funny? If they had docked him or given him a penalty for every balloon they popped.
Oh,
a minute per balloon.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
Because they were popping left and right for some teams.
Oh, yeah. Oops, sorry. But obviously no penalty.
So Rod, Letitia, Ricky, Caesar, they just crushed that.
The whole thing.
And then we had some teams that were like decent at it.
Yeah.
And then some that really struggled.
Well, On the balloon side, I feel like, okay, the cousins, to speak of, they're going down the beach away from everything.
Everything, yeah.
And I feel like that's where being observant on The Amazing Race
100%.
really gets you far. Because it's like, okay, obviously there's these massive things of balloons.
Yeah.
You're not seeing it down either side of the beach.
Yeah.
Go back into the carnival of where it should be.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a map on the in the clue.
Something.
Whatever. But it's got to be at least in between one set of balloons and the pond.
Yeah, 100%. Also on this challenge, the twins, they, I don't know, man. Like I thought they were going to be really good, but
it's not looking so good.
It's not looking so good. They just seem a little half baked the whole time. Like they ask those people for directions, and then they forget like their clue with those people, and then they get there and they see all the flags and they start doing that one and they're like, oh man, what are we doing?
It is like a psychedelic experience.
I don't know about them, man. They're making me a little worried.
I don't think they're gonna get as far as I thought they would. I had them as my second place team. They are a struggle bus.
Yeah, for sure.
They're probably gonna finish in the middle of the pack, just because, like you said, they do seem like they're a little half baked. And just not totally aware. Which
for sure.
It is what it is. The cousins. Okay. So going from those detours to the park. The Carenza Park, where the roadblock is. Man, so that's about an 8-minute walk from where you would get your clue to get there. So how Double Dutch and the cousins get there before getting to the other clue box is quite impressive.
Because they basically would have had to like walk past everything somehow. Get to that, see, okay, hey, we're supposed to do something here. And I don't know. Do they tell them like, hey, you're gonna have like a detour first and then a roadblock, or like?
No, it doesn't say that.
Oh yeah, but it says like go to the Iguana Bridge.
Yes.
And the cousins, they're like, isn't this Iguana Bridge? I'm like, it's not even a bridge. What are you talking about? It's a park.
Exactly. And so I think from looking at the map, it looks like the cousins probably went down the entire like, what would you call that, boardwalk on the beach and circled in, because that park is right off the beach.
Right.
And Double Dutch, I think they went in the town and totally missed the carnival area.
Right.
Somehow.
But then like,
I don't know how they
how do they start doing that challenge just assuming that's the right spot? When it says like go to Iguana Bridge, and they get pretty far into it too. Like Double Dutch, they like
they would go.
We're like almost finished.
Which makes it come back to I feel like when you start a leg, it's great to get a map if you can. Or ask somebody that's in the service industry, like a hotel.
Which is what the twins did.
Yeah.
They went to a restaurant and they were like talking to the people there.
Bad information from them, I guess. But you have to be aware, okay, I don't know my way around this place. I got to find out. And someone who really knows the area. And that's why I feel like hotel people, restaurant people probably would. But, man, also ask the other contestants, like when you roll up.
I know, hey, is this the right spot?
Did you guys do anything before this?
Which I kind of loved that part when, I can't remember who it was, but they asked, I think Ricky and Caesar, when they were holding the balloons, they're like, hey, is it like up here? Whatever.
Yeah, Derek and Lisa.
Yeah, and they didn't say a word.
Totally blew them off.
They're like, we'll help you next time. We'll help you next time.
Okay, would you have helped them?
Dude, that's hard to say. Depending on, I don't know. Depending on where we were at, I think.
Personally, for me,
if it could have helped my game, I would have helped them.
Well,
for sure.
I feel like this early in the race, I would totally help them. Because I can also see there's no one else around.
Yeah.
We
You
are
know you're
so
way
far
far
ahead.
ahead of them.
no one else is close, I would totally help them.
Yeah.
Because I know that's going to
Come back
in
in a later leg.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we helped you. Build up. You gotta have to build up some relationship and be aware of that.
Whereas if it was like neck and neck, I can see him not doing it, because then it's like, man, if we give it to them, we might not finish. So
I totally would have helped him, because I think that's going to pay dividends later on down the race. But now you've made an enemy.
Yeah.
They're not going to help you.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah.
That's the game.
It is.
I mean, that's the price you pay.
So then we go to the roadblock, and it's basically a face painting thing, doing like the Dia de los Muertos face paint, getting some awesome butterfly wings, which was my favorite to see Rod. His face painted butterfly wings.
You totally filled them out real nice.
It was amazing.
Would you paint or would you get painted?
Okay, so if we're doing it together, I would paint.
Okay.
I'd be fine with that.
You know what I thought about in this? Because I would totally be fine getting painted.
Yeah.
I would have totally gotten in my bag and gotten another shirt and just
wipe down all the sweat.
Wipe myself down.
Yeah.
Because I know me. I would be sweating.
Oh, I would too.
Like
100%.
But I would just be, okay, I'm just going to wipe this down, get you a dry surface, and then I'm going to keep that and just keep wiping off the sweat.
Because that's what we saw. We saw a lot of teams struggling with getting the makeup on while they're just like drenched.
Which is crazy because Rod, I feel like his pain was money.
Yeah.
So she was either really fast, which she probably was because it looked really good.
Yeah.
Or, man, he doesn't sweat.
I mean, he's a professional athlete. He's in way good shape, so I feel like he doesn't sweat as much as others
even though his shirt was totally soaked by the time he got to the top.
But to be fair, like Ricky and Caesar, they look great too, right?
Well, he says he does drag.
He does drag makeup, and
maybe the only reason they didn't take first is because he was too perfective.
Yeah.
On
that's true. Maybe he took a little too long doing that.
Whereas, was it Double Dutch, I believe, where he's like, oh no, it was Amber and Vinny, where he's like, we just gotta get past.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
We just gotta get
just
past.
do it.
Yeah. And I like that perspective because, some of these things.
Right.
Just give us the okay and off we go.
But I did feel like a lot of the challenges, like minus that flag one that a lot of people got stuck on, the face paint one and the balloons were pretty straightforward and really easy for teams to do.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of check, nope, check, nope. There's a little bit of that, but most teams got it like first try. Well, according to the edit at least.
Yeah. And I do like that face painting is straightforward. Like, okay, do I have the yellow here? Do I have enough stripes here? Is there yellow in the teeth? You know, some didn't have that. It seemed like, but going back to the colored flags, Sunny and Busy. Oh, yeah. How long were they there?
I wish it like had a timer because it seemed like they were there forever. Weren't they the ones that like someone left? Amber and Vinny, didn't they like leave? Go get the balloons and got back, and they're still there.
Not only them, but the Danny and Ange. They did that.
Yeah.
So they lapped him.
Yeah.
And that would be so frustrating. Like, oh my gosh.
And that's like the hard part, right? That's the hard thing of like, hey, do we still stick this one out or do we switch detours?
Yeah.
And that would be like the hardest decision for me, like on the race. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. Am I wasting time here or do I just go? Yeah. But I don't know. The flag thing, I just thought, dude, why don't I just cut? Is this it? No. Okay.
Right. Check.
Staple. Cut. And the next. This one? No. Okay. Staple. Next one? No. Oh. Yeah, and just go right down the line.
Just start going. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I don't know. Maybe they don't allow you to do that, but I mean, I feel like some of these challenges, like the rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's the thing. If I'm on the race, I don't know all the rules, obviously. I don't know if there's penalties for doing things or what information they give you, but I'm just doing it like the most efficient way I can unless they tell me not to do it that way. Yeah,
unless someone steps in and goes, no,
you can't do that. Yeah. Unless it says it or someone tells me to not do that. Yeah.
Because it makes me wonder, like, with some of these challenges, if there is a time penalty for breaking the rules and whatnot. And that's why I never really see
Mm-hmm.
that on the race,
Yeah.
if there really is or not.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But as far as the face painting goes, it was pretty straightforward. There were a few incidences, I guess you could say, like the teams getting there before doing the detour was probably the biggest one, and then poor Angie had like heat stroke for a hot minute. So
now, was that a medical guy that came in?
I think so.
I assume so.
I would assume, yeah. I don't.
I was waiting for the nurse anesthetist to step in.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
This patient's crashing.
Right. But they're like, no, wait, let's move on.
It's $1 million.
Yeah.
She's out of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, besides those two things, it was
Yeah.
pretty easy to go.
Yeah.
And so then from there, then they had to go to the pit stop that was at Elizabeth Taylor.
Casa Kimberly.
Casa Kimberly, where Elizabeth Taylor
And Richard Burton.
Richard Burton used to live.
Yeah. And that, looking on the map, is about a 15-minute walk. They actually had to go back past kind of the carnival area.
Okay, kind of backtrack.
Yeah,
and
backtrack
up the
and
hill.
up the hill. So, not terrible, but
Yeah.
about a 15-minute walk
Yeah.
from the map.
And so I think both you and I kind of called not necessarily the exact order, but like the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
We had Rod and Letitia, Ricky and Caesar,
Derek and Shalisa.
Derek and Shalisa, and then
Juan and Shane.
were kind of the top 4,
Again,
which was kind of expected.
Yeah. Because they
Yeah.
were just solid, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
On all their.
Yeah, and I mean they got the first leg done quick, so they're ahead of the pack already, and then it was just a pretty easy one for all of them.
Yeah.
So
And then Chris and Mary.
sad to see him go, but
man, I mean, Chris is 60.
yeah,
He's wearing black
yeah,
in the hot summer sun.
and it is hot.
I guess it's October.
It is hot
but
there.
It's freaking hot.
It is hot there all the time and humid, and like I get it. Like
I did like that Mary, his daughter, had liquid IV packets.
Yeah.
And I would totally take those with me on the race.
that's a smart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so chug a couple of those and
Right.
try and get those electrolytes back in.
Yeah, because I think that's like the biggest thing. Like some of these teams you can tell are not in their best physical shape.
They're not in their prime.
Yeah, and even the ones that are, like, you want to do everything you can. Like, I would definitely take those. I'd take those, like, little gel, like, energy thing.
Liquid gels.
Yeah. I'd take, like, that stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that I could that's, like, small and will give me a little,
like maximum energy
Yeah.
and
yeah.
substance.
Especially in these hot areas.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it
'Cause
just
it's
drains
probably-
you.
I mean, how hot is Puerto Vallarta in
90s.
end of October?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be toasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toasty. So, but so they go home. I wasn't super surprised about that.
I wasn't either.
But they're headed to Colombia next.
Yeah. And so the teaser showed a few interesting things, right?
So Danny and Ange, they have boat issues. Their motor basically goes out.
Which
on the
is
boat.
It's so unfortunate because we've seen this on other seasons, right? Where it's just something out of your control that takes you out of the race sometimes, or at least drops you places. And it's just so unfortunate, like a taxi driver that doesn't know where he's going, a boat that malfunctions.
Well, in
stuff like
35, you look at Jeremy and his brother.
Yeah.
They get the tuk-tuk, the electric tuk-tuk that doesn't really
Yeah.
have any power left.
Yeah.
The battery's drained.
Yeah.
So that kind of kicks them out.
Yeah.
Double Dutch, he struggles with heights.
Yeah. And I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. It shows her kind of like maybe hanging off like a steep incline or a cliff or something. And he's like, nope, can't do this. So
yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see.
And then it shows the twins kind of struggling and talking about like going back and forth.
Yeah, what to do.
So
who do you think goes home?
Oh, man. So this keeps me up at night. I'm trying.
Wow.
I honestly, so I submitted my official prediction being Danny and Angie, but I feel like it's going to be Double Dutch that goes home.
Well, I'm sure you could switch your.
Well, I could,
official.
but it's official. It's in. So, yeah.
Just keep sleeping at night.
No, I will. I will.
I do think it's Danny and Angie, because do they have to bring in a new boat? Like
That's true.
What do they got to do?
True.
And it does. Double Dutch's wife, she does it. Do it for me, you know.
Yeah.
So, I think.
A little more motivation there.
I think Sean's gonna get some motivation to be like, okay, I'm gonna suck it up, get this done.
Yeah.
But also, they're going to Colombia. It's gonna be even hotter.
Mm.
I don't know how well Angie's gonna hold up
Yeah.
in even more heat, more
point.
humidity.
Yeah.
So I just don't think they're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Just because she's older.
I'd agree. What about the top teams? What are you thinking there?
I think
Any switch ups? Kind of keeping it the
I
same.
think the top teams are gonna stay at the top. The only difference is, like, it's a chartered plane, and so you're basically all starting at the same time once again.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole new race, whole new leg. So, but I think the teams that have done well, there's a reason they've done well.
Yeah.
With directions and getting from spot to spot. So I think the top teams are probably going to stay at the top. Like, I see those top 4 teams staying there for a while.
Right.
Yes, they might intermix. I'll probably put like Ricky and Caesar 1, maybe Juan and Shane 2, and Rod and Letitia 3. And the only reason I say that is just because Caesar speaks Spanish, Juan speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I don't think there's going to be a huge mix up here. We've seen it on a lot of seasons where the first few legs, there's kind of the same people that are doing real good. There's like a middle group and a bottom group. And they kind of stick with that for a few legs. And then there's kind of switch ups. Yeah. Those middle people kind of find their groove and like they get up there.
Things out.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens or if these people just stay dominant the entire race. Or I mean, once the U-turn comes in, that might change some things. The express pass, stuff like that. So
yeah. And they didn't tease anything about an express pass or a U-turn, so would you like to see more U-turns?
Yeah, I like the U-turns.
Me too. And I loved how last season they voted.
Yeah.
And Texas got it, and Annalie was not pleased.
Not the happiest.
But I thought it was hilarious.
I agree, and I like that. I like it how they see that it's a vote and they see who gets.
I think it'd be kind of fun, like, maybe every other leg do a U-turn, but the team who got voted U-turn, they are off the board.
Yeah, they can't get voted twice in a row.
They can't get voted twice.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to throw a few wrenches in it. It would kind of stop these teams that just dominate in first place. It would kind of switch that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
make them put a little or feel the heat a little bit.
Yeah.
And come in the middle.
And it could probably be a lot more strategy too, right? Like teams being like, "Hey, I will not U-turn you if you don't U-turn us."
Work with each other.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're in this together. Let's keep each other off the board.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but I'm excited for them to go to Colombia. It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they're doing there.
Yeah, the city is, I'm going to butcher this probably, but it's Medellin?
Medellin.
Ooh, Tron.
I learned that from watching Narcos. So.
Well, the accent was perfect.
Thank you.
Well, they're going to that city, which is kind of like northwest of Bogota.
Okay.
Kind of in the middle of the
Pablo
country.
Escobar.
Is that his
if
town?
I'm remembering correctly, yeah. He was that Medellin cartel. So.
Okay. Well,
we'll see.
There you go. We're learning history as well. I love this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll bring something with Pablo Escobar into the race.
That'd be cool.
Have they done that before? I feel like I saw a season where they did.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But it's going to be exciting. So
it is going to be exciting.
Let us know who you guys think is going to go home, who is going to win, your thoughts on this past episode, this current one coming up.
Let us know how you just enjoying the race and how Mexico was thus far.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
I like the teams.
Let us know if any of you have tried out. If you've gotten any callbacks or anything like that.
Friends with a casting director, perhaps?
Yeah. you know?
I mean, I would love to be a friend of a casting director. That would be great.
We would love to be on the show at some time.
Yes. It's coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's episode 8. Recap of episode 2 of season 36 of The Amazing Race. This is the Amazing Survivors podcast. Till next week, yo ho ho.
Yo ho ho.